Today we'll be changing the oil in a 5th generation Toyota 4Runner. This is my 2011 Coastline Blue 4Runner. Recommended oil type is 0W20. I like a Wix oil filter, and there's the filter number for cross-referencing purposes. Tools needed: special filter socket, which I picked up from a CarQuest. This is real handy and makes life a lot easier as it'll fit right on the canister. 14 millimeter socket to remove your drain plug, and a 12 to remove the bash plate bolts. I like a little torque wrench when I'm reapplying the filter and canister.
Okay, we'll get started with this project by dropping a couple of bash plates. First one in front here, this section, I also have to remove a little bit of the plastic fairing up front here. But the bash plate itself, we've got 4 bolts, one here, one on the other side. I'm shooting from the passenger side right now. And then in the back side of this plate, we've got 2 recessed areas with bolts. Those will come out, 4 total, and this front bash plate will come down, accessing your canister type filter. And we come further back in this second larger bash plate, you've got a smaller section that'll come out itself, 2 bolts, and that'll access your drain plug, and these are 12 millimeter. Okay, I now have the 4 bolts removed from the front bash plate. Wanted to show you, it'll just drop down. There's some hinges on the front that'll maintain it in position. So now you can go ahead and take some more plastic off and completely remove that if you'd like. This will be enough for you to access the filter, which is right up in here. So I'll take it off and on the workbench show more detail, but we'll first off pull this out, and then in your new filter there's a plunger type device that'll pop in there to drain your oil. Then we'll use a filter wrench to take the canister, which will fit around here, take the canister off, and again at the workbench we'll go through changing the paper filter element. Okay, I've removed the bolts from this back bash plate cover, and then you can see the access to your drain plug, which is a 14 millimeter, and these bolts were 12 millimeter. Okay, I finished draining the oil, so I returned my drain plug, and I'll put this recessed part of this back bash plate back on. Okay, underneath, looking at close-up of the filter. First step, use 3/8 inch extension in your ratchet to remove this aspect of the filter. I'll show you closer at the workbench in a moment, but your new filter box will have a plastic nipple that once this is removed you pop in here, which will automatically drain the oil in the canister. You then can remove the canister itself and replace the paper element within, which I'll do and show later here in a moment. Okay, we're at the workbench getting ready to change out the filter element. I've removed the old paper element. In your new filter box, you're going to have these 4 components. This plastic nipple is what we use while it's actually still on the vehicle. You remove this, and this nipple will pop in here, and while it's on the vehicle, that'll drain the oil out of the filter housing. Then you can pop that back off. So there's an old O-ring with this component. This
this new larger O-ring will go right in this groove. So we'll just put it back together now. Go ahead and reassemble the filter now. The new paper element will slip in here, and then this new larger O-ring will go right in this groove right here, just below the threads. The underneath component, this I'll replace. There's a new O-ring for that as well, fits in a groove. And that component I will torque to 10 foot-pounds, and then the canister to 20 foot-pounds. So I'll go ahead and reassemble this and get it installed back on the vehicle. One last note is I'll be sure and oil around this O-ring so it's nice and lubed as it goes back in place. Okay, here I am getting ready to reinstall the filter. Going to wipe things off, just clean them up a bit. I've reinstalled my new paper filter element inside the canister right here at my finger. I've oiled or lubed up that O-ring. Now I'll just hand tighten this in place. Okay, now that I've hand tightened that, I'm going to come back and torque this part of it to 10 foot-pounds. Remember, this is the drain part of it here where I inserted the plastic nipple. So I only want this 10 foot-pounds. And I'll apply my canister socket here and tighten this remaining up to 20 foot-pounds. Okay, now I've got my canister socket in, and I'm tightening it up now to 20 foot-pounds. Okay, that's all installed, properly torqued, and now I'll bolt the bash plates and put oil in. We'll be finished. Final step, we're going to refill with oil, which is right here. Not hard to find. 6.5 quarts.